By a show of hands, how many folks are using LinkedIn every day to grow their business? We've got about a third of the room. How many people have gotten business from LinkedIn? Show of hands. A few of you. Okay. I am a huge LinkedIn fanatic, and I've come here to convince you all that LinkedIn is the first thing you should be doing every single morning, because it is your prospecting gold mine. It is your own personal Rolodex of every business professional in the world. When I got started in business, we had little paper Rolodexes. Then we moved to ACT database. So what LinkedIn is networking on steroids. Throw away the Rolodexes, your ACT database. LinkedIn is where all the professionals are that you want to do business with. Currently, there's 160 million business professionals on LinkedIn. It's the third largest social site after Facebook and Twitter. And it's really where all your prospecting can be done. So that being said, with 160 million business professionals on there, I often speak to business professionals and I say, why aren't you using it every day? And sometimes the answer I hear back is it's kind of hard, okay? So I want to tell you a little story. I was contacted by a childhood friend of mine whose mother is 80 years old, a grandmother of 7. And my friend said to me, look, my mom wrote a book. She thinks it would be great to sell it on LinkedIn. Why don't you help her? She can barely send an email. I called her up. We set up a phone coaching program. I showed her how to set up a LinkedIn profile, essentially as an ad for her book with a link to Amazon.com. And then she said, what do we do next? I said, well, let's join a group. Who do you want to sell your book to? She said, I want to sell it to school administrators. Great. So we go to the group search on LinkedIn. We search for school administrators. Up comes a group with 4,000 school administrators. I say, push the button, join the group. She joins the group. She says, now what? I said, start a discussion. She said, what should I say? I said, well, great way to start a discussion is ask a question. So she had written a book about school nursing because she had been a professor of a college at nursing. I said, why don't you ask a question? Do you realize the importance of school nurses today? So she starts the discussion. She finishes it with, I've written a book about school nurses. Contact me if you have any questions. The next day I get a call from her. She's out of breath. Dan, I sold a book on LinkedIn. And I was afraid I was going to give this little old lady a heart attack because she was so excited. But her first day on LinkedIn, she made a sale. A school administrator from Arizona saw the post, said, I want to buy your book. And then she calls me and said, what do I do next? I said, join another group, do another post. So if a little old lady, 80 years old, grandmother of 7, who can barely send an email, can make a sale her first day on LinkedIn, everybody in this room can make a sale on LinkedIn. It's almost guaranteed. There's people everywhere on LinkedIn who you can do business with. So what I want to do today in my short time is give you some strategies that you can take right back to your office and that you can start using to start making money on LinkedIn today. I'm going to be doing some of the bullets that are on the back of your handout. So if you want to take the handout back to your office to remind you of some of the things I've covered, that would be great. The first thing I put down, and it's on the back of the handout, expand your network to be open to opportunities. This is a little bit controversial. A lot of people get on LinkedIn and they only want to connect with people they know. And I completely understand that. And I want you to be comfortable with what you're doing on LinkedIn. However, I want to tell you that if you expand your network, you open yourself up to more opportunities. And more people can see your profile. And there's more profiles that you can look at. It greatly expands your opportunity. I am what's called an open networker on LinkedIn. Sometimes you'll see it abbreviated as LION, L-I-O-N. That stands for LinkedIn Open Networker. I have over 14,000 direct connections on LinkedIn. What does that do? That connects me to 21 million business people around the world. That's 21 million profiles that I can look at. That's 21 million people that can look at my profile. So it expands my network and my opportunities greatly. Because of that, because I'm an open networker, I get to create joint ventures with people in England and people in Australia, and I get clients in Europe. And I can tell you, if you're concerned about connecting with people that you don't know, I've been on LinkedIn 5 years. I've been an open networker for 5 years. No one has showed up at my house and hold a gun to my head. Nothing bad happens. LinkedIn is professional networking. Yes, I have opened myself up, and yes, every day I might get 2 or 3 business inquiries. Someone selling me SEO for my website, or someone selling me web design. These are business inquiries. If I'm covered in that area, I delete the message. If it looks interesting, I will give them a call. So there's absolutely nothing to worry about by accepting invitations from people you don't know. Nothing bad is going to happen. I guarantee it. I've been on 5 years, nothing bad has happened, and believe me, you have the option to delete a contact anytime you want if you feel uncomfortable. All right, next point, optimize your profile. Your profile on LinkedIn is your little website. It's your little mini website. And just like you optimize your website with keywords, you want to optimize your profile with keywords. Because what do people do? When they're looking to hire somebody, they go to LinkedIn and they go to the search. And they'll type in a keyword. It could be travel services. It could be moving. It could be hotel in Florida. Whatever you do, same thing with your LinkedIn profile. You want to optimize it with who you are and what you do so that when people come to LinkedIn and do a search, your profile will come up. I worked with a local sales trainer here by the name of Clint Babcock. We sat down, I looked at his profile, I said, what do you want to be found for? He said, I want to be found for sales trainer. So we typed in sales trainer into the people search. He's nowhere to be found. I showed him the 5 places on your profile where you put your keyword. And we put sales trainer in those 5 specific places. Instantly, we did another search on sales trainer. He came up as the number 6 sales trainer on LinkedIn out of 300,000 results. That's the power of optimizing your profile. You want to put keywords, you want to discover what keyword you want to be found for, and then you want to put it onto your profile as many times as you can. Let's go on to the next one. Add marketing materials, helpful hints, and downloadable documents so you provide value and you're seen as the expert before someone talks to you. Now, your LinkedIn profile is not a resume. Okay? A lot of people make the mistake, they'll just cut and paste their resume and they'll put it on LinkedIn and they'll think they're done. Is that you? No, you didn't do that. Great, thank you. Your LinkedIn profile is a website. It is a multimedia website that you can add video, you can add PowerPoints, you can add documents, you can add PDFs, you can add all kinds of great stuff. And just as I was talking to a gentleman before about selling today, you want to create value first. How can you create value for the users that come to your LinkedIn profile? Load it up with a PowerPoint. Share your expertise. What are you good at? What do you know how to do? Share a PowerPoint on your LinkedIn profile that really goes into your expertise. Share a video of you explaining what your company does. Add that personal touch. What I do is I have lots and lots of documents that I've uploaded to my LinkedIn profile that are all about LinkedIn prospecting and how to be successful with LinkedIn. So that when someone comes to my profile, that's the first thing they see is all my files. And they click on these little PDFs and they open them up. And what am I doing? I'm creating value first. I'm establishing myself as an expert. I'm getting these people to know, like, and trust me because I'm sharing free information. And you know, today, you gotta share something free. You gotta give something away for free. Whatever it is, dig in your files, find a white paper that you've written, find a PowerPoint, but give away something free on your LinkedIn profile so people can know and like you and trust you. What's another thing I've got on my LinkedIn profile? I've got the first chapter of my book. So as I'm writing to people on LinkedIn, introducing myself, the first thing they do is they click on my name, they go to the profile. Well, who is this guy? Okay? In my files, they see read chapter 1 free. They click on that, it's a PDF, it's the first chapter of my book. But it also includes the table of contents, the introduction, and the first chapter. So what am I doing? I'm explaining everything that's in my book, and I'm giving him a first chapter for free. So there are 15 to 20 free applications that you can add to your profile right from within LinkedIn that you can make it into this multimedia extravaganza. So when people come to your LinkedIn profile, They're going to see your PowerPoints. They're going to see your videos. They're going to download white papers that you've written. It's this rich experience for the user so they get to know you, like you, and trust you. You've created value first. You've established yourself as an expert before they even pick up the phone and call you. So spend some time on your profile. Make it a rich experience for the user. Don't just put some text up there and hope for the best. Make it something that it's going to add value to the person coming to your profile. Because you're going to be on LinkedIn, and you're going to be in groups, and you're going to be discussing things in groups, and you're going to be answering questions, and every time you do that, someone's going to click on your name. Well, let me check out this person. And they're going to go to your profile. And if you got lots of good stuff for them to look at and download and look at your PowerPoints and read your PDFs, then you're going to establish yourself as an expert. You can have a video tour of your hotel if you represent a tour. If you got a moving company, you could have a video of your trucks in action. You can really make your profile come alive. And since there's 160 million professionals on LinkedIn, you certainly want a profile that is a full example of everything that you can do. So I hope I've inspired you to get into your profiles and make them really, really exciting. Another point that I want to cover is get recommendations. You can get as many recommendations as you want. We live in an age of social proof. Nobody buys a book on Amazon until they read the reviews. Nobody goes to a hotel, as I'm sure you know, until they read TripAdvisor. And nobody's going to hire you until they read your recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. So, I'll tell you a story. I was giving a presentation the other day at a company that I was trying to hire, wanted to hire me for sales training, and they had put my profile on a big TV screen up in the wall. Well, when you look at your LinkedIn profile, the recommendations, the number of recommendations you have is one of the first things that people see. It's in that gray information box. So my profile is up on the wall, and it says 115 recommendations, and the president of the company says to his friend, "That's pretty good, 115 recommendations." Well, guess what? I got the deal. So if someone is looking at me as a LinkedIn trainer, and they see I have 115 recommendations, and they're looking at Bob Smith and he has one, who's going to get the call first? If someone is looking for someone to provide travel services, and you've got 50 recommendations, and your competitor has one, who's going to get the call first? You are. And believe me, people are using LinkedIn and they're looking at the recommendations. So I encourage you to get some recommendations on your profile. How can you get recommendations on your profile? Very easy. Write some. Okay? It is a wonderful, wonderful thing to send unsolicited recommendations to your coworkers, to people you've worked with, people who have reported to you, people you've worked with. LinkedIn gives you this whole plethora of different people that can you send recommendations to back and forth to each other. People you've worked for, people who've worked for you, anybody you've done any kind of business. I'll tell you, it's the greatest thing you can do is to get up every day and write a couple of unsolicited recommendations to somebody. Number one, you're going to make their day. Number two, LinkedIn creates an automatic form that goes to that person that says, Jane Smith just recommended you. Why don't you return the favor and recommend Jane Smith? And so you send out a recommendation. It kind of is a subtle hint, hey, recommend me back. And the third thing that can happen is you can get business that way. I went to see Clint Babcock as a local sales trainer. I went to hear him speak. I thought he was dynamic. I sent him an unsolicited recommendation. Later that afternoon, my phone rang. Hey, it's Clint Babcock. Thanks very much for recommending me. Let's have coffee. I said, great, let's have coffee. We have coffee. Clint says to me, you know, we don't do any LinkedIn training at Sandler. What if I send you all my LinkedIn business? Great. So that's a nice little thing that can happen when you write unsolicited recommendations for people. You get business, and it solidifies the relationship. So every day, make that part of your LinkedIn activity. Write some recommendations to people, and you'll make their day, and they will write some back from you, and it creates a great relationship, and it furthers your relationship with that person that might turn into business. And in addition, I'll give you a fourth benefit as a bonus. When you write a recommendation for somebody, your name shows up on their profile as a hyperlink where? Back to your profile. So it gives you added publicity anytime anybody looks at their profile. So that's 4 great reasons. You only need 1, but I gave you 4. Start to write some recommendations for people. It'll be really, really helpful for you. Here's the next one. Learn to use the advanced people search. I was speaking with some folks here earlier today, asking them who they sell into, okay? You can use LinkedIn as your personal Rolodex. Who do you sell into, okay? Do you sell into a CFO? You can go to the advanced people search, click on title, type in CFO, then write down that you want them to be that current title, click a zip code and a radius, hit enter, up will come 200 or 300 people, and there's your prospecting database. Those are the people that you want to do business with. Or you could use the keyword search. I was talking to some people earlier, they want to deal with anybody who's got travel in their recommendation, in their profile. So you would go to the advanced people search, and for the keywords, you would type in travel. You would type in your zip code and a radius. Up will come all the people in that zip code who have travel listed in their profile. So you're going to find people who are involved in the travel industry. What if you sell to event planners? You go to the advanced people search. You put in event planner as their current title. You pick a zip code. You pick a radius, 100 miles of your office. You hit go. Up comes all the event planners in that radius. What if you want all the event planners across the United States? You go to the advanced people search, you type in event planner, you don't put in a zip code, but maybe you search by size of company. I only want people who are event planners at companies over 500 people, or I only want event planners at Fortune 500 companies. You can do all these great sorts and create these little lists of prospects